Okay, so if we have a look over here, let's start. And we look at the exam window, guys. I'm going to just skip it. This page is in the front of your files. Have a look over there. And the exam window is 2 September till 13th. Okay, you guys. And all that means, if you look over there, guys, what that means is that those are your exam dates. You can pick any one you like. So anyone with, if you can, I'll pick the 13th. Gives you just more time. Okay, but remember, you guys are going to write upstairs. Okay, there is a Pearson Institute. I think it's on the 6th floor here in the Sandton City office towers. It'll be nice for you because you can just come here first. You can put your stuff down, and then you can go upstairs, okay, and write. But they've got, if memory serves, when I wrote, I think they've got about 8 or 9 computers, which means that they can only book 8 or 9 people per one of these days. So the earlier that you register with CAIA itself as an institute, okay, the earlier you can book your exam date. The earlier you can book your exam date, the later you can choose your exam date. Okay, so just the best, the sooner that you can do that, obviously, the better off you're going to be. It's always better just to book the latest one. Unless, of course, and the beauty about that, guys, is just have a look at your schedules and your timetables. If you're planning on going away somewhere in those dates, just make sure you book the date that works best for you. Okay. Carrying on, guys. Now let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so you've got your study time. They say plus minus 200 hours. Okay, and guys, 200 hours means what? If we have to put it into a timetable, okay, approximately. Okay, if we have a look at, and if we just do the maths, it's nice, easy maths. Okay, you do 1 hour a day, and you do approximately, and you're not going to like me to hear me say this, 6 or 8 hours on the weekend. Okay, your friend, I'm not going to mention names on the recording in case he ever listens and he shouts at me, but we know who's who. And when he finished, and he didn't make it, but his words were that these designations are no joke. And that's the truth. CFA, CAIA, FRM, they're hard. Okay. You've got to put your work in. They're not difficult if you put your work in. Okay. Interesting thing that I found about CAIA, guys, I have written the paper myself. Okay. And the general experience is that the subject material is more difficult than the exam. Okay, so the exams they're not easy. Don't make any mistake. They're not easy, but it's a little bit easier than the material's quite challenging. Okay, there's going to be times where you're going to say, well, what? And I always remind you guys, please. Okay, this is my only thing that I've got to hold on to is that you signed yourselves up for this course. Eh? No one forced you. Okay, when the going gets a little bit tough. Okay, and it will. There's going to be ups and downs. And remember, a lot of guys moan about the Chinese. Have you heard about the Chinese? Okay, everyone says, well, they mark all of these types of designations, CFA, FRM, CAIA, etc. They mark them on a curve. Okay, we'll discuss that in a second. We'll discuss that one in a second. Okay, and what? So they say, well, all the clever Chinese people are writing, so, that's just not fair. Let's try and find out something that the Chinese aren't writing. Okay, my answer to that, first of all, is the Chinese write both sets of papers, September exams, March exams. And make no mistake, who else is writing? The Indians, they're clever too. The Americans are clever too. South Africans, we are clever too. Okay, and I don't buy any excuses. Okay, we've just got to get on with it, and we've got to put our heads down. We're going to show you how to beat the Chinese. But the message I wanted to show you guys, and everybody else, of course, but the message is that if you have a look at your material, okay, we've got a range from ethics all the way down to structured products, derivatives, okay, hedge funds, commodities. We had a guy joined us last time. Okay, he was a property expert, so for him, property and real assets was a dream. He battled with derivatives. So my message to the guys is that there's always going to be some topics that you're better at, some that you're worse at. The Chinese aren't good at all of them. Okay, good at some, and that's going to be the message. We've got to, as you go through them, some you're going to love, some you're going to love a little bit less. Okay, and some you're more familiar with. Okay, how does this one differ, particularly for 1D? How does it differ from CFA? What CFA did was they had alternative investments as one topic out of 10 for 6%. This, it's 100% alternatives. So it's just alternative investment. So I hope that's what you were expecting. We don't do too much equities, bonds. We don't do too much of that. Corporate finance, portfolio management, not too much of that stuff. We did all specific focus only on alternative investments. Of course, guys, as we look at alternative investments, there's big focus also on things like equities, bonds. We look at those as well. There's going to be a focus on that as well. But the predominant focus is on the alternatives. Okay. So guys, let's just go back to our timetable that we're going to look at. Okay. Let's see how much hours we need to put in. If you can, guys, okay, and I'm talking about Monday through to Friday, 1 hour a week, 1 hour a day, times 5, and you're giving me 5 hours. You happy with that? Okay. And when must you put that hour in? Whenever you like. Okay. There's no prescription at all, guys. Of course, when you freshest, some people can get up at 3 a.m., put in a few good hours before work. Some people can't even think about that, and some people are night people. You might get an hour at lunch, and you might even get some work time. I don't know how busy you guys are at the moment. Okay. But try and get and it's hard because I'm sure your lives are very full at the moment, and I'm asking you to find another hour. But you all told me before, I didn't trick you when I asked the question, but you all volunteered that none of you are mothers. Hey? So yeah, it's coming back. So my sense is you've got a little bit more time. Yeah. Okay. So, but again, guys, we'll talk about the approach that I want you guys to follow as we go through. But generally speaking, if you put in 5 hours there and on the weekends, and again, when we talk about the weekends, guys, okay, that is Saturday and Sunday. In total, we're looking about 6 to 8 hours. Now, you can put in 4 and 4. You can put in 8. You can say to your families, listen, I'd love to, I want to keep my Sundays free. So tell your families, Saturdays I'm out of commission. Tell your family, your friends, or things like that. Okay. But we're looking around about, guys, on the weekend, the total weekend, about 8 hours. If you take those together, guys, it's 13 hours a week. Okay. And 4 months, what's that? It's about 52 hours. You happy with that? So plus minus 50 hours a month. You happy with that? Okay. And we've got about 4 or 5 months. So you can quite comfortably, guys, get to your 200 hours. I always get the one guy in the class, I'm lucky it's a nice, small, polite class of just ladies tonight, because I always get the one guy who always asks me, do these classes that we come to count towards the hours that you want us to do? Okay. It's a lovely question, but no. You've got to put your time in, guys. And, once you signed up as part of the program and Sonalo's fingerprinted you, you can use the campus whenever you like. So if you can get out of work on a Monday when we have class an hour earlier, an hour and a half earlier, just come here and work. Put your hour in then. You know what I'm saying? And on weekends, it's open 24 hours, the campus. The minute you got, as long as is everyone fingerprinted? Okay. As long as you got a fingerprint, you can come as and when you like. Okay. Please make use of it. Okay. And 50 hours times 4 to 5 months, the maths works out nicely. And the key, guys, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on as we get there, guys, but the key is the consistency. Okay. As our friend found out, it's not going to help you. I mean, he joined us literally on the 15th of Jan. Okay, to write in March, and he's a smart guy. By all accounts, he's a smart guy. But these designations have got a funny way of putting people in their place. Okay, there's no way you can't try and fit in 3-4 hours a day at the end. The trick about this is and we'll talk about what we call our 4 C's. We'll talk about the first one now. Okay, and that's the consistency. Okay, and the key to passing any of these designations, this one included, okay, is obviously going to be, okay, consistent work. That means an hour every single day until you write. Every single day. You don't miss a day. Now, if you've got a migraine, what do? Or you've got a family wedding, you give me 5 minutes. of your hour. That's all. And why do you ask you for 5 minutes? It's all part of this consistency message, guys, because if you give me 5 minutes today, tomorrow when you feel better, when the wedding's over, not yours, I hope no one's getting married now. Okay, good. Okay. I had one guy that did, also failed, and he spoke to me again before the exam, CFA exam, and he said, he'll be fine, won't he? I said, no. I said, a wedding, at least a Jewish wedding, I can tell you, as a Jewish guy, takes 2 weeks at least. It's the week before, it's the wedding night, it's the week after. It's, no, and I said to him, I said, don't do it now. I said, either don't get married now, or don't write CFA now. Do either one. He said, no, he'll be fine. Okay. He wasn't. Hey? Aaron? He's now at Monocle, isn't he? He's at Monocle, yeah. Yeah. Well, we had one guy as well that did it in the CFA level 3 class. He got married on Sunday night, okay, and he was back in class Monday afternoon. Okay, if you're going to do that, then yeah, I don't know how long your marriage will last by doing that, but that's another whole story. Okay. But guys, it's that consistent. And as I say, in terms of the consistency, if you can't give me your hour, for whatever reason, for the day, you're not feeling well, and you know what? It's not, everybody's different. Sometimes you're feeling good, you can do an hour and a half. Sometimes you're feeling just dreadful, and you look at the book and you actually just want to throw up. Okay? That's part of studying. Okay? You've got your ups and you've got your downs. So on those bad days, give me 5 minutes. And the very first thing we're going to be looking at, guys, is going to be ethics. And I always tell the guys, if you're feeling really yuck, you don't want to study, just read your ethics for 5 minutes. Okay, that's all. And the reason we make you do the 5 minutes, which you think, what am I going to gain in 5 minutes? And what you gain is you get your brain right, don't you? You get your brain to tell you that I'm still in CAIA. I'm in the CAIA mode, and then tomorrow, when I'm feeling much better, I'll get back in. Or it might take a day or two. If you stop, what happens? If you stop for one day and you do nothing, what do you do the next day? And you miss. The problem, guys, with these designations is the guys find out. And that's why I'm scaring you. Hopefully I scare you a little bit early on. Not too much, a little bit of scaring early on. Yeah, make you a little bit scared, because why? That'll get you through. The guys, don't start. When do you start studying? Tomorrow. Okay. Don't leave it. Yeah, we just started. It's only May. If you work it out, you've got April, May, June. No, what's after May? June, July, August, September. And those 4 months, then that's it. Am I right? We're in the middle of May. What led me to see? 13. So you got, and it's quick. That's quick. Can you? Even if you use your fingers, it goes quickly. Am I right? There's no way to make this look any better than it is. There's work to be done. Okay, and again, I remind you that you all sign up yourselves. Okay, and the truth is, I had a long meeting with CAIA just the other day. It's a wonderful designation, it really is. It's a top class, and the beauty about this one for you guys is you're getting on the ground floor, because they still. I hope they don't hear me ever say this, but I think they're still trying to get more members in quite quickly, because they're very young, they're very small. So I think the exam's a little bit easier for that than trying to get guys in. There'll be a point where they say, okay, well, the membership is sufficient, and then like CFA, make it very difficult to pass. Ask. Okay, Wendy, she'll tell you that. Okay, but I think it's still a little bit easier to get through this one than it is the other two designations, CFA and FRM. It's not easy. Please, I don't want to sell you the wrong dream. Okay, a little bit easier right now, and I think we've got to just capitalize on that as much as we can. Okay, there's your 200 hours, guys. If we have a look at I'm just going to go through this one page with us. At least today, that we've got a good sense of where we are. So when we're ready to really hit the ground running, we'll do so. Your exam is 4 hours. Okay, you write 2 hours in the morning for 100 multiple choice questions. Okay, 100 multiple choice questions. 30 minutes later. So unlike CFA, when you get a 2-hour break, here you get 30 minutes. So it's not long. Essentially, you're writing for 4 hours. And that 30 minutes, of, if memory serves, is optional as well, so you can just say, listen, I want to carry on. Let me just write for 4 hours. I don't advise that. It's always nice to get out, walk out of the room, have a sandwich, clear your head, and then get back in after that. But as I say, completely up to you. Now, Mandile knows I always do the maths over here, and if you have a quick look, okay, you've got to do 100 multiple choice questions in 120 minutes. Okay, 120 minutes, 100 questions. Even I can do this. The maths over here. It's the quickest, by the way, it's the quickest time per question in any of the designations. You've got to do yours in 72 seconds. Okay, CFA have got 90 seconds, and FRM have got 2 minutes 24 seconds. Okay, so there's work to be done. Okay, so but again, I don't want you stressing about that. The approach that we take, guys, is quite late on in the program. What do? We work slowly, we work purposefully, and then close to the end of the program, guys, what do? We start to write practice papers, and we work on our timing. Okay, can you finish these papers? Definitely. There's not. I've never heard of a guy say it's impossible to finish CAIA papers. It's not one of those. We can easily finish, but it's going to take work. It's going to take. We work on our fitness, our exam fitness. Someone asked me the other day, did we call ourselves Edge Fit because we're trying to get ourselves fit and ready for exams? And I said, no, the FIT stands for Finance and Investment Training. But I wish I would never have used it. The amount of calls I get for, can you work on my body for me? What fitness programs do you offer? Okay, so we wasn't the right choice of names, but hey. But the truth be told, guys, is that's what we're trying to achieve with you guys, is a fair measure or level of fitness exam. Because again, remember, you can't just come in and write 100 questions straight off the bat and say, oh, and get that. It takes time. We practice. We go slowly, and that's what's going to take us the time to get through all of those. Okay. And then again, guys, as you can see over here, you come back in the afternoon for another. It's not really afternoon. It's 9 till 11, 11:30, and you're done by about 1:30. Okay. Don't tell your employers that you finish early afternoon, so at least you can have the day off. But you guys are very fortunate, by the way. Just check your policy, but they give you your predecessors have done all the work for you. They had a good fight about it at the time. For study leave, right? Okay, but I think you get about 21 days or something, which is nice. 25. Yeah. I think you should. I think the truth is, and what I suggest right now is let them sort out all your stuff for you first. But as soon as that's done, is put in your leave forms. Okay, because you know what's going to happen. I had a guy from Standard Bank and put in his leave form a bit late, and what happened? Got rejected. And he had like 2 days for CFA level 2. Imagine that. Not fun. So put it in early and sign it with something that can't be taken back. I don't know how they... Because your boss is always going to come to you close to time and say, there's a lot of work, a new project, please can you... The answer is no, you can't. Yeah. I've heard this, I've been in this game for too long, and you just say no, Because remember, guys, this is your life, this is your designation. Remember, once you've got the designation behind you, you are a much more marketable person, Your boss doesn't really care. What work are you going to do different for your boss now and after? So then they're not overly... Most bosses are not overly supportive, and all that they see is, these designations cost us money, takes you out of the workplace. Every time I come to your blooming desk and you don't have work, you're sitting with that file of yours just trying to read some more stuff. Am I right? And now you want 25 days leave as well. Okay, so just you must enforce and back up yourselves because. Okay. And there's your exam window, guys. We have spoken about that one. Please, as much as you can, just for your own purposes, try and push it as late as you can. If you can get the 13th of September, but again, they're quite clever as well, CAIA, that you can't book that until you've paid them. That's their little bit of leverage. Okay. Guys, let us have a quick peek at our topics. Okay. And the weightings. Okay. We start off with ethics, and Wendy's smiling away there because she's done ethics. The ethics at CAIA are carbon copy of the CFA ethics. There's a lovely link between CFA and CAIA. They work very hand in hand and they support each other nicely. And the ethical standards for CAIA are carbon copy of those for CFA. So Wendy, you've seen these twice already. For you guys, it'll be new. But look at the weighting here, guys. 15 to 20% of your paper is ethics. Okay, it's a big, big weighting. The only other one that's as big is your intro, which is the strangest topic, which we can look at in a second. Why they call it an intro, and that's 9 chapters long and worth 20 to 25%. What kind of an intro have you ever seen that's worth a quarter of the syllabus? Okay. And guys, the ethics, I'm going to try and just start that a little bit today. I don't want to go too far into ethics today because there are quite a few more that are going to be joining us next week. But just as we look at those ethics, guys, okay, it's 15 to 20%. And the good news for you guys, even for the guys that are just doing CAIA, not CFA, is you know what the weighting is next year for CAIA level 2? Same thing. So it's very, and what ethics do you do for CAIA level 2? Same as level 1, carbon copy. As you do for level 1, level 2, and level 3 of CFA. So if you're doing those 2 designations, you could in fact learn 1 set of ethics for 5 separate exams. Okay, so it's very worthwhile that we spend a lot of time. And we're going to see as we go through those ethics, guys, I always suggest to the guys, please just to put them on your mirror when you do yourselves up in the morning, top of your don't put them in your car. I think that's driving is tough enough in Joburg, isn't it? Okay, so focus as much as you can. What I used to do for some of the guys is just take a picture of each of them and keep them on your phone. So you're standing in a queue and you think, okay, there's 6 standards of professional conduct. And if there's 6 standards of professional conduct, I can put them onto my phone and I can just read them. Sitting in the queue at the bank, instead of sending an SMS or WhatsApp, you can read a standard of professional conduct. And Wendy, why is there 6 and not 7? I'm asking you. Because for CFA there's 7, why is there only 6 here? What's number 7? You do know? Remember, what's number 7 for CFA is the CFA exam, the program, and the use of the CFA designation. So obviously for CAIA, just in case you were trying to, correct. So just in case you're trying to compare the 2 for CFA and for CAIA, CAIA stops at number 6. CFA has got 1 more standard called number 7, which deals with, but we're going to go through those in great detail. Okay. And guys, so and this is probably your most theoretical one, guys. Please spend some time on it. Ethics. Number 2 is Intro to Alternative Investments, and it's a very strange topic, strange heading called Intro to Alternatives, because it's nothing of an intro. Okay. And what do you do over here in Intro? You look at the basic alternative investments. You look at their structures. And then, guys, fun, we move deeply into quants, statistics. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's what you were getting. Okay. Chapter 3, Chapter 4 is quants and statistics, hypothesis testing. Okay. I warned you there's going to be a lot of... Okay. Is that not your favorite? Okay. What's your background? You're going to be fine. Nah, you're going to be fine. Yeah, quants. and the funny thing is we've got 2 chapters. One on stats, one on quants. Okay, and we'll show you what the differences are. Guys, we are going to go slowly. Okay, and I always warn the guys, please, I'm not interested. If we find the classes go like we did last time, they were battling a little bit on the quant section, I just throw in another class, that's all. So if I do bring you in another time during the week or on a Sunday morning or something like that, it is what it is. But I'm not going through sections just to meet my timetable needs to make sure, oh, phew, okay, we've covered that, but no one understood a single word that I've said. We don't work like that. I hope, okay. Keep your calendars ready. I always tell the guys, speak to your families, your friends, your uncles, your aunts, your wives, your husbands, not your kids. You don't guys have kids yet. One day's going to have one day. I always laugh at those people that say they're not going to have kids, and then I meet them 10 years later. They've got these two beautiful or three little beautiful appendages. How many kids has your mom got? Well, how many are you? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Let's hope that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Okay. Kids are beautiful. I can tell you. They're naughty. Takes your time, but okay. But tell everybody in your families. If I can dig it out, I'll try and find. There's an old CFA meme that shows like this little bit of a ghost, old character coming out of a cave at the end of CFA and saying, "Where is everybody?" Okay. We expect the loneliness, guys, for the next 3 or 4 months. But remember, guys, all that you tell your friends, your family, etc., it comes to an end. It's 4 months, and you really got to put yourself out there. After which everything goes back to normal again. So please just and the reason I mention this, guys, is just to get their support, because it's very difficult if you're trying to work and every time you say, well, Sunday's my work day, and your boyfriend or your mother or your father says, oh, can't you just like come with us one time, or are you studying again? And it starts to wear you a little bit thin, because you just think, oh, I can't study like as if I'm always going to be. And you just tell them, listen, you need their support. You can't without their support. And just it's 3 months, 3-4 months. It's not crazy time, and then all will be well. Okay, I don't want to sell you the dream. Okay, we had one girl in Nevilleton, I don't know if you remember, Wendy, who said she was disappointed by the chartered accountant dream. I asked her what that was, and she said, well, she felt that at the end of being a CA, once she qualified, I don't know what, like that very next day, like wealth would just pour in, fly in, find you. Maybe it's a graduate dream. And I said to her, she said she just hoped, and it wasn't, obviously for her, she said to me that wasn't the case, and she's still struggling. And she said she just hopes that the CFA dream will be different. I said it won't. I said it won't. Everything that you do, guys, you get the designation. Getting the designation is a stepping stone, isn't it? To something bigger, something better. And once you're in the place that you want to be, you work hard, you make your connections, you strive, and you'll get there. But I've told Paul, by the way, one of our fellow lecturers on the CFA side, please just stop setting this to the people, because what he says, don't worry about working hard. Don't worry about everything like that, because even if you lose your family and friends, it doesn't matter. He says, because when you finish CFA, you'll just buy new ones. Okay, so please, you're not going to buy new ones. You're going to treat them nasty, and they're going to treat you nasty. Okay, and away we go. Okay. The truth is that they do go, because the truth is if your friends are not working as hard as you are, and they can't understand the fact that you, why are you working like this? You every day, every weekend? And the truth is you can take one weekend off here or there, you'll do a little bit of work before you go on your hike or your outing or your Saturday night. It's not a death sentence, but it's a consistent amount of work that you've got to be putting in. That is going to be what's going to get us through. Okay, so guys, intro, which is a very interesting one, is not so much of an intro. We deal with derivatives in there, statistics, quants. We look at smart beta in there. It's a detailed intro, and the beauty about that, guys, that's why I normally take that one quite slow, because in the intro section, guys, what we end up doing in intro, okay, is a massive, and that's, I don't know, when I spoke to them, I said, well, can't they rather call it foundation of alternative units? Because it builds a foundation for everything that comes afterwards. Okay, so that one we do slowly. Okay, it might even take us 4 full sessions to get that done. I don't mind. But we build that one very slowly, as it's a lovely intro into what we need to do. Okay, and that's 20 to 25%. That's a big one. Okay, we look then at real assets. What are real assets? You're going to find all your nice stuff in there, your real estate, and all your other kind of real assets. That's 10 to 20. Hedge funds, they love asking. That's a big one, 10 to 20 as well. Private equity, smallish. Okay, 5 to 10. They're being a little bit vague. Obviously, they're not giving you exact numbers. Structured products, 10 to 15. Structured products are going to be things like CDOs, collateralized debt obligations, mortgage-backed securities, MBSs, all things like those. For for about 10 to 15%. And then you've got risk management and portfolio management, a little section on the back end, nothing too crazy. So guys, if you have a look at that, those are all your alternative asset classes, aren't they? Everything's in there. You don't get, there's not much discount for much over there. Okay. All of your asset classes are going to be covered over there. Okay. Calculator policy, only the Texas Instruments, guys. BA2 plus. Does anybody use the HP12C, the oblong one? Okay, so that's not I put that as the calculator policy, but I'm really lying, because you can also use the 12C. The problem is that the 12C is a very difficult one to use unless it's one that you're very familiar with. It's your calculator that you use. Okay, now the trick is, in terms of calculator policy, you're used to the Texas by now. What do you guys use at work? Yours? Okay, now the trick is, you're not going to like this, but the trick is, when you come next time, by next week, when you come, have got yourself a Texas, and bring me your two or three calculators. We're going to put them in a box. We'll give them back to you when you finish CAIA. Because the problem is, what do you do? On your desk, you go back to your old ones, because that's you're comfortable. But the problem, guys, if you get comfortable on this one, okay, it's going to save you massive amounts of time in your exam. And as opposed to doing what? Well, you say, well, I hate the Texas. I know I've got to use it for the exam, but I hate it, so I'll only use it when I actually have to do it in the exam. It's too late. Remember, the Texas works on a very different logic to the Sharp and the HP. What are you using? The 10B. Very, very different logic. The Texas Instruments works on arrows up and down. You're paging through stuff. You're scrolling up and down. It's a lovely calculator once you get used to it. But again, either you can give them to me, if you trust me. If you don't trust me, you've only met me once, so I take no offense. Okay, but no, the best place, try Take a Lot. Take a Lot generally got those. Yeah, so yeah. But but guys, try if you can. I don't want to try and sound deceptive over here, but just try put that onto your employer if you can as well, as part of what you need for your package. You know what I mean? Because they're expensive. You're looking, guys, around about 1,000 rand, 1,200 rand for those calculators. It's a horrible one to have to once you've spent everything, and then someone says, well, by the way, still buy a calculator. Okay, but the truth is, guys, for the calculator advice, throw out the other ones. And that's what I've done, by the way, because I was also a big 10B fan, HP 10B, and then I've just started to use this exclusively. And I don't know how to, I probably wouldn't know how to use the 10B again. Okay, and it just saves you time. Because if your calculator is your friend in the exam, it's quick and easy. Okay, that's where we've got to get. We've got to use every single little trick to beat the market. Okay, guys, if we have a look over here, textbooks and chapters. Okay, ethics. As you can see over here, guys, what do we do for the ethics section? Okay, we use the CFA Institute book. Standards 1, and as you can see, we only go standards 1 through till 6. We don't do number 7. Okay, intro to alternatives, and the rest of them, guys. Okay, I hope you guys have got that lovely book, the Wiley book, 3rd edition Wiley. It's about 1,000 pages. Have you all got that? Please don't buy it. Okay, I'm just kidding. Please don't buy it. The notes are more than sufficient. Okay, you don't need to work from that textbook as well. Yeah. Okay, you can ask Martin. Not Martin. Adrian. Sorry, Martin's one of our guys. But Martin purely used this, and it was. David, another one of the guys, you won't see him, but he'll come tomorrow night. He passed level 1 first time, just on the notes. The trick is not so much in the notes, guys. The trick is going to be in mastering questions, quickly mastering your calculator. There's very little, in the notes that are differentiators between some of the service providers. Okay, and guys, you'll see, some of the purists, they like to buy the textbook as well. And then after the first lecture, they say they can't keep up anymore because to read the textbook is about 100 pages. Our notes will be about 25 or 30, and you just don't have that kind of time. But if memory serves, I think you do get a free ebook from CAIA anyway on the Wiley textbook. So I always say to the guys, if you do feel that you want to look at a concept in more detail or something that's troubling you, you want to go back to, we can. I've got one as well, so you can look at that with pleasure. But again, it's just another expense that you don't need to incur. The trick is if you get through all of my notes and you do all the questions and you're getting through it like that, I almost guarantee you a pass. Okay, and back to Wendy's point earlier, what is a pass at CAIA? It is on the curve, but CAIA is the one service provider that actually guarantees you if you get 70%, it's a pass. Okay. You guys are probably a bit surprised because with any other degree that you've done thus far, the pass mark was what? 50. Okay. Gone are those days. And that's another thing that makes these designations difficult, guys, is that, it's a bit insane. The truth is that having looked at, could I analyze the students' results so they get you'll never get your mark back and say you got 62 and failed. What they'll say to you is that here's all your breakdowns between those sections, and where did you come in your peer group? You were the best, above average, average, below average, or just absolutely horrible. Okay, so from those I pick up a little bit and my sense is about 65 is going to be a pass. Okay, roundabout. Yeah, then it might even be a bit less. Okay, that's why I never cry for bad papers. When the guys come and say that paper was very difficult, it's okay because the curve will help everybody. Okay, I cry for the guys that come out, and I've never had it any different in my life, guys. The guy that comes out and says, "Gee, that paper was easy." Hey? I say, "Oh my word, you're going to be back again." Okay, because for sure, these papers are not easy. There's tricks in them, and when you come out confident, I got that. Could be that you missed everything in the paper. Maybe not, but a good chance. These papers are exactly what my friend Mfundo used to say. These papers are no joke. He found out as well. Okay, but we're starting early. We're starting on time. We've got plenty of time. And okay, so guys, there's only two sources if you ever wanted to go back. And the reason I put this is, we don't hide anything at Edge. I'm not trying to hide anything from you to show you where my notes are. I show you where everything comes from. Okay. There are only two sources that you need, guys. If you wanted to, you've got your Standards of Practice Handbook. If you wanted this one, you can download off the CAIA website. And mark my word, you'll read 3 pages and you'll think, sure, can't I have a summary of this? And that's, of course, what our notes are. They summarize all of the information. And then you've got everything else comes from the Wiley book. Everything else. Okay. A bit of a warning, guys. Okay, I was just chatting with CAIA this week. This entire syllabus and this entire book is now going to the 4th edition for the March paper. Big changes. A lot of stuff is coming in from level 2 into this. Some things are going in, some things are going out. So let's do. So if you ever needed a motivation, because the problem is when they change something, we don't know exactly. We don't have questions of those. We don't. Whereas here they've been doing the same syllabus now for 3 or 4 years. On Wiley book, 3rd edition, I've got past questions. We know how they ask stuff. Whereas when they introduce it for the first time, it's a bit of a guesswork what's going to happen in that paper. So, and the beauty is if you pass this one first time, that the March paper, which will be new for level 1, will be old for level 2. They're only going to change level 2 the cycle after. So if you get through the next 2 in a row, you're done. Level 2 is almost the same. If I just take you through level 2 quick, if you wanted, ethics are there. Intro is completely replaced with what they call current issues. Similar weightings. Okay. You've got real assets in there, hedge funds, private equity, that. There's one more section that's not in here, which is called asset allocation. Because remember, once you get to level 2, what they say is you've studied all of these asset classes. How do you put them into a portfolio for your clients? That's obviously where they want you to be at the end of level 2. Okay. Yep. Correct. Okay. So for level 1, at the close of the exam window, so if you look here, the window closes on the 13th of September, you're comfortable? Within 3 weeks, you get your results. In the by December, you're ready. Yeah. The only challenge that we've got for, and you're not going to like this little bit of information either. The challenge that we've got for the March paper in South Africa, as opposed to the rest of the European and the Americans, is that we take off from around about early December till I can't start classes before mid-Jan. No one's going to come. So what we typically do is that I don't give it a long time from the time that you get your results. So that 3 weeks, literally end of September, early October, I've got to get going. We work October, we work November, and I even take a little bit of time into December. So for you, you're going to have to pick. Because remember, you're either going to start studying for CFA level 2 in September of this year to write in June, or you're going to do CAIA to write in March. You can't do both. You can do both, but it's not something I'm a big believer. I once when I wrote my FRM Part 2 exams, FRM you can do both on the same day, and you can write 8 until 12, 2 till 6. And I had one guy when he started, he's a Zimbabwean guy, so he came up to Joburg to write, and he said to me, yeah, he's feeling good, he's writing both papers today. I said, you know what that means? He said, yeah, he'll write 8 to 12, he's fine, and then he'll write again 2 till 6 level, part 2 for FRM. So the only thing with FRM, you can write them both on the same day. If you fail level 1, part 1, they don't even mark your part 2. They don't even look at it. Okay. And he wrote part 1 after telling me how fresh he'll feel after that. And he actually says he feels, at this point, he'd rather be dead than go and write again at 2 o'clock for another 4 hours. So I'm a big believer, guys, in let's get it done right the first time, let's do it properly, let's study hard. One guy phoned and said he'd like to try CFA for the December paper because he's got a bit of a gap in his things. I said, don't. He said, what? I said, don't try. Either you want it, then you'll do it properly, or you don't want it, and then don't. It's like one of those memes that, you want to try CFA or try CAIA, you don't try it. You know what I'm saying? You want it because it's going to be, it's on your career path, whatever it happens to be, and it looks brilliant on a CV, and it's international, and it's got all the benefits. But you're going to work for it. Okay. Guys, let us turn over our page over there. There's your books. And guys, when you go into the CAIA website, please don't feel that you're missing out anything. Okay, because look what they've got there. They've got your candidate handbook, which I've given you all information in this notes already. Your workbook, more questions, which I give you as well, and your study guide, which I give you in the notes as well. So I have to read all of those books that they give out. You don't have to. Okay, there's nothing in there that I'm not going to tell you in class. So you're going to go on the website. When you log on, you're going to say, look at all these free resources. You can have the Standards of Practice Handbook. I've summarized that for you. You can have this book. You can have this. Guys, you don't need anything. Okay, and please, the trick is don't feel left out or that you're missing out on something because you're not going to. You can read those. They're lovely to read it, but it tells you more or less what I've told you already. Okay, guys, our approach to work. That's what I want to speak about. We've looked at it very briefly thus far. Okay, and let's just have a quick look at what I want you to do now. Okay. We look at the 4 C's. Anyone that's been in credit or in debt knows what the 4 C's are. Collateral, but that's not what we're looking at. Okay. The first C we've looked at already, guys, which is your consistency. And remember, guys, I want to be a big nag. Ask Wendy, I can nag a little bit. Everyday work, guys. Really, it's every single day work. And if you're feeling shocking, terrible, horrible, and just give me 5 minutes. Take an ethical standard, read it, do one example, and then feel good about yourself that you've done something for the day, and then you can go to bed, go to sleep, go out, go drinking, whatever you need to do to get back the next day. Okay. So consistency we've spoken about a little bit, guys. It is vitally important, because remember, if you're not consistent, then the next day you miss another day, and this is not the kind of thing that you want to miss too many days, because when we come again, I think it's next week, Monday, if memory serves, I'll look at the timetable now, we're going to cover the whole of ethics. That's 15%. So you've got about a week to do questions and master that as best you can. Then we move on. And you'll find the syllabus moves quickly. So there's Tuesday. Okay. There's not a whole lot of time for you to be inconsistent. Okay, so consistency is what we want from you. Next one we look at, guys, okay, and obviously I don't need to tell you guys, is the commitment. Okay, the commitment is vital, because it's going to be so easy when you get to quants and you think to yourselves, hypothesis testing, left tail test, right tail test, oh my, do I actually need this in my life? And then you've got to think, well, you committed to this. You signed, remember, guys, again, you signed up for this, okay, and there's going to be things that we're going to get through. Is what it is. We'll move through those. Okay, that's your consistency and your commitment. The other one we put over here, guys, is concentration, which is an interesting one. But what I mean by concentration is that, okay, there's good times to work and there's bad times to work. Now, if you get home and they make you work late and it's 8 o'clock at night, you think, oh, I'm so tired, I can hardly keep awake, and you think, well, I better put in 3 hours still, because I haven't worked for a day or two. I've only done my 5 minutes, and I've got to do 3 hours today. So you sit by your desk and you try and think, and you can't think, and your head's fishing. You know how it goes. Okay, go to bed. Go to bed. Okay, because remember, concentration, 1 good hour is worth more than 3 bad hours. So you've got to weigh up, guys. When is your good time to work? Okay, and I'm not saying take that good time for your studies and give your employer all the bad times. Okay, that's not what we're saying. Okay, don't come to work exhausted and you think, oh, at least I did all my good hours for CAIA. My employer can get all my bad hours because I'm so tired anyway. Who cares? Not what we're saying. But you work out when you're good, when you can put in a strong half hour or a strong hour is worth much more than a bad 3 hours or 4 hours. Okay. So just be very careful with that one. Try and put in your best possible hours. That's the concentration. And if you can't, guys, if you get home from work and you are just too tired, go to bed. And try to get up a little bit earlier the next morning when you're fresh. Okay. And the last C, okay, is the calm. Okay. Breathe in, relax. When quantity is getting too much for you and you just feel you can't anymore, what do? You breathe. And guys, under calm, what I also want from you guys, okay, after I've told you how hard I want you to work, guys, I also want you to look after yourselves. If you're exercisers, does anyone here go to the gym? Keep going to the gym, please. It's brain food, the gym. Eat. If you eat badly, keep eating badly. Okay, if you eat well, keep eating. If you do eat well, don't give that up. If you eat badly, we'll just carry on. It's fine. Okay, I always say if I had to put some healthy food into my body, if I had to eat a vegetable, I think my body would, okay, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Okay, each to their own. But guys, under calm, look after yourselves. Keep on looking after yourselves. If you've got an hour of gym a day, please keep that up. Eat well, okay? And yes, you're going to work very hard, but once a week, take yourself out, take your friend out. If you're a movie watcher, go to watch a movie every now and then. Okay, doesn't mean every night. You know, it's an every now and then. Okay. And remember, when things get too much, you guys are lucky because you work together. Like, not just the same, the PRC is big, I know. Okay. I always know that people say, like, you know, do you know that other Jewish guy? Well, there's a few of us, you know. Okay. You work at the PRC. Do you know? No. No. Okay, it's a big firm, we know. Okay. And you're going to have to tell us all the Adrian gave us some nice stories from there. You're going to have to bring some nice stories as well, particularly now. Okay? we want all the good stuff. Okay? Yeah. Okay. I always tell people, I said, because I do all the American designations, I'm quite a bit more connected to the American news, the American politics, and South Africa has got nothing on America. Donald Trump has made politics into a complete art form. Jacob Zuma, these guys, Malema, all of these guys, even that new party, I was surprised they got so many votes. The EF, not the EFF, just the FF. It's not a new party, the FF, but I thought it was dead. I mean, I don't mean to be ugly, but I kind of like hope that it had gone. Because, you know what, I think it's time for new. You know, I even prefer Julius. I think he's, you know. Mhm. I mean, you okay. Yeah. But again, what for? Why? Yeah, yeah. And it really is. I mean, but I think what the ANC have done is they've forced like fringe parties to come out a little bit. You can see EFF has increased its thing. This Freedom Front, FM, and what they say, and I think that's what's, people are saying, well, the ANC hasn't quite performed like what we expected, so they're going to these, I don't know if you call them populist or whatever, but they're looking elsewhere, which is, but as I say, I'm a bit troubled by this. I would have hoped that they'd gone by now. I think it's time to move on. You know what I mean? There's a time for everything to say, let's get something new going here. But what I found interesting is that you say that 4% is big. You know, I thought that DA did fine, but they lost 2%, and there's huge outcries on that. Yeah, amazing, huh? Yeah. The truth is, I always say, it's nice to have, whether you like Julius or not. I know he gets a lot of flack and that kind of stuff, but it's nice to have a bit of someone always just biting at the heels and saying, guys, I'm watching you. There's someone out there that's, and I think it's good. There's nothing worse than no competition. So I think that's, it remains to be seen, but no. No. Yeah. 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 And I think the ANC, my sense, I don't know much about the politics, but I think it's quite an old, deep-rooted vote. I think I think to take away someone's vote that has been ANC member, I think it takes a lot. I think you've really got to be disappointed. You know what I mean? I don't think they're easily going to give, yeah. But to me, that middle class is so fantastic, because I just think that you're creating something new that there wasn't before, and I think I think it's giving people opportunities. I think yeah, that really, hey, amazing, huh? Yeah. But who would they vote for though? Uh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's apathetic. Mm. If you remind me after the class, I'm not going to show it to you now, but I'll show you a meme. You might have seen it about that very. I don't know. Also a little bit rude. I was surprised my little sister sent it to me. But anyway, I'll show it to you about that level of disinterest. Just remind me before you go. Okay, now let's just finish up here, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Just at least we've done a good intro. We've seen what we've got to do. It'll give you guys a week just to breathe, take it all in, and come back very, very strong next week. Okay. Equations you've got to learn, guys. There is a short list of equations. We're going to give those to you to learn. Okay. There's a very short list, guys. And when I say very short, I mean very short. That they do give you in the exam. No, that they give you in the exam. The rest we've got to learn. Okay. Most of them. Okay. And that's our approach here, guys. Okay. I don't want you learning stuff off by heart. There's some theory here in the CAIA paper. It is quite theoretical. You have to learn it off by heart. They're going to say to you, like for example, one of the questions they say to you, who is the biggest owner of timberland assets in America? And you got A, the government, B, private investors, C, the banks. Now, either you've learned that or you haven't. You see what I'm saying? There's quite a bit of that in this exam. There's quite a bit of theory. What they say, okay, is that approximately 30% of the paper is calculations, 70% is other theory, thinking, stuff like that. Okay. CAIA provide a workbook and an online exam. We can take those down for you. You don't need to worry about those at all. Okay. Your multiple choice questions, maybe 3 or 4. It's an interesting one. CFA go for 3 options, A, B, and C. FRM go for A, B, C, and D. CAIA, somewhat A, B, C. In your exam, some be A, B, C, and D. Okay. No, no. We're going to show you all the. We're going to show you all the tricks. We're going to show you all the tricks. Okay. Okay. Sometimes they use a bit of stories, item sets, and like an item set, they may give you a bit of a story like this, 5 or 6 lines, and they say this story relates to the next 3 questions. So you've got to answer based on that. Those we get as well. Pass mark guaranteed at 70, might be lower. My sense, it ranges probably 64, 65 and upwards. But again, a tall order, isn't it? It's a tall order. Okay, and that's not your only file, by the way. Don't get excited. There's another. No. So if memory serves, that's the first 3 or 4. There's 8. So you're going to get another big file coming. Bigger than that. Okay. One more. One more big file. It's bigger. The next file too is about that big. Okay. It's very doable, but guys, it's just this is an elephant, and you can only eat the elephant a little bit every day. Okay, that's going to be our trick. Results are made available 3 weeks after the exam window closes. Gives us plenty of time to choose. I was surprised. Adrian didn't want to write now. Level 2. Oh, okay. Well, he wrote now in March 19. He wants to write again in March 2020. Okay, so then he can do it. Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. My big belief is that, we had some guys that wrote FRM with us, and the class split exactly down the middle. Half of them wanted to go and do level 2 straight away. The other half said no, they're completely wounded. They passed, but they just feel completely wounded. They need 6 months off. Then they'll come back and do part 2, just to breathe. Okay, depends how. Okay, that's it, guys. Let's have a quick look over here. Just the last one I want to show you quick. Here is your timetable. Okay, and as you can see, okay, I wanted to look at ethics tonight, but I just think it's probably better if we just do an intro. Okay, get everybody ready, and we're going to start. We'll do ethics next week. Okay, and we will the intro to alternatives. I've done 2 or 3 classes on that. Some classes fly through it. You can do it in 3 classes. Some need 5. We'll see how we go. Okay. My key is that it's the It's class dependent. We go through it slowly. We do practice questions. Slow, the keys under guys, I'm not interested in anything other than understanding. Okay, that's the big approach, because if you learn stuff too much off by heart, when you come to the final paper, it all goes. Stress, whatever, and it's difficult to remember. There's a lot of stuff to remember. Okay, in terms of the exam course timetable, guys, you can see over there, okay, you've got 3 exams here if you can. If not, we can push them a bit earlier as well, no stress, but the later on that you can write the better, it just gives you more time as well. Okay, I always tell the guys, I ran a revision course for the CFA guys down in Cape Town, and they enjoyed it a lot. One guy said, I said, guys, please stop telling me how nice the course was. I need some constructive, I don't want just criticism, because that's just ugly. I want constructive criticism. So the one guy puts up his hand, he says, well, there is something that he's been meaning to talk about, if he could. I said, with pleasure. He said, you only gave, for CFA, he said, you only gave us 6 exams. So I said, yeah, how many did you want? He said, no, 6 exams will take him 3 days, 2 or 3 days. I said, what? He said, no, because it's a 3-hour paper, so you write 3 hours in the morning, mark it quickly, write 3 hours in the afternoon, mark it quickly. I said, every paper that you write, and this is why I'm pushing to give you as much time as you can, and later on you can write the better. I said, a 2-hour paper for you guys or a 3-hour paper for them should take you double that time to feedback, at least. Because for example, what a lot of guys do, they say, okay, they mark it and they got 65 and they think, yes, I'm through. But even in those ones that they got right, what I always still want the guys to do is go back and say, you picked A, B, and C, so you picked C. Why was A and B not right? Because you can learn so much from their questions, intuitively, how they're asking, why they're asking, what's right, what's wrong, and it can often take you to double that time to feedback. So I told this chap that my criticism back on him is if he's not feeding back in at least the same amounts of time or double, the benefit of writing the paper is limited. So that's the exam course timetable thereafter. Any questions? Are you guys completely shell-shocked? Is this what you expected? Not shocked. But you're a seasoned person at this. The truth, mind you, the designations, in truth, are quite similar. In their nature, you know what I'm saying? The approach that you've got to take to them, the work we've got to do for them, they're quite similar. So once you've done this once, you've seen it, at least. Okay, the PRC people, what are your thoughts? Does anyone call you guys the pick? No, it's not. Hey? What? The pick. PRC. Yeah, so that's... I'm glad you guys have got a bit of a sense of what work we have ahead of us. In terms of your lecturers, guys, there's good news and bad news. Good news, okay, is that you don't get me every time. Okay, we give you a good... There's 2 other guys that we use, a guy called Kurbis Silias, okay, who is a... You know Kurbis? He is good. He does some of my CFA lectures as well. He does a little bit, and then we've got a guy called Jaco Jaeger. He's also a CAIA charter holder to do some of the topics as well. Okay, but I always tell the guys, please, I do run the program. So if there's anything that you like, don't like, even about me, I take criticism very well. As I told you, I got 5 kids. Okay, there's nothing that the kids haven't told me yet. My wife says to me, I was complaining the other day, I said, I just feel I'm getting a bit, I'm putting on weight and everything. My wife says, no, you're looking lovely, you're looking great. And my daughter comes, she's 5, she says, Dad, you fat. No. Okay, so, yeah. so guys, please, my message is don't be scared. If there's something that you need help with, shout. If there's something that you're not happy with, please let me know. About me or about the other lecturers, I run the entire program, so I'm here to help you. You guys are fingerprinted, you can come in and as you like. Just before you go, if you don't mind, if someone can just lend me a piece of paper, just write me your cell phone numbers on. The last bit of order of business is I create a WhatsApp group for our different classes. So what we do at the WhatsApp group is we put all of you on. I communicate to you via the WhatsApp group if there's something interesting in the alternative space. I'll let you know about that. But again, I tell this to all the classes on the WhatsApp group. Please, let's keep it alts related. If you do have a dog or a cat that has procreated, as Wendy says, please don't send us pictures of those on the WhatsApp group. Again, same story, guys. Yeah, because then I can create the WhatsApp groups. But guys, yeah, truth be told, if it does relate, if you look at it, you think that that's probably better suited to a family WhatsApp group. Don't put it on our group, because the problem is also if we put too much other stuff, then people stop using the group because they say, well, I got that same group beeping, beeping, beeping again, and it disturbs people. So we're going to keep it. We try and keep it as sacred as we possibly can. Guys, we're going to end off for that. Generally speaking, it's around about 7:30. So in the normal way that we run the classes, round about now we break. Just in case you want to plan, we normally break round about now, and guys can run around the center for about 20 odd minutes, buy dinner, whatever you need. Get it if you need a drink. You find any places to get a nice stiff drink here. But if you need one, there you go. And we normally start again, and we run a second session through till about 9ish. And if need be, I don't love to do it, but if need be, we may need to. Sometimes we've got to go through till about 9:45. Some nights, depending on how we go. We can't fall too far behind. Okay, guys, that is us. If you wait 2 seconds, I'm just going to save this for the rest of the guys, and then I will show you my rude message from my sister. Okay.